So you join me in Basel SBB Bahnhof, the train station here in Basel. I'm here to take the first of 7 trains. Yes, you heard that right, 7 trains today. So thanks yesterday, Joe, for that. We are heading from Basel here in the far north of Switzerland down all the way to the south in Zermatt. If you don't know why we're going to Zermatt, let yesterday's Joe tell you what's going on here. I'm in Manchester Airport on my way to, I think, the only airport in the world that connects 3 countries, Basel, Mulhouse, Freiburg, for a very special mission. I'm flying with EasyJet, but I'll tell you when I get there what the mission is.
To maximise the space.
The head lockers in case anything is moved during take. Thank you, bye-bye.
So just landed in Euro Airport Basel Mulhouse Freiburg. This airport has 2 exits, one into France, one into Switzerland. I need to take the Swiss exit and then I'll find somewhere to sit once I'm through passport control and tell you what is going on. We don't want to go that way. Right, so time to explain what's going on. So I'm in Switzerland, in Basel for today, because I've decided I want to experience some of the best train journeys in the world, but I don't want to pay the costs associated with things like the Great Glacier Express and the Matterhorn train and the expensive trains that Switzerland is famous for. So I've got an INTERRAIL pass, a 3-day pass to use any regional train in Switzerland, and I'm going to put it to the test. Can I see the same sights as on the main routes, on the expensive routes, by using regional trains only? But that's too easy. So what I've got here is I've got a map of the Swiss rail network, and each night I'm going to select one of 5 postcards from Switzerland with a challenge on it, and that challenge will decide where I go the following day and where I stay. I've only got a hotel for tonight in Basel, a cheap Ibis budget hotel. This is like £60–70. When I get to the hotel, I'm going to pick my first postcard to decide where I go tomorrow morning and where I stay tomorrow night. And the postcards are: survive on just £100 in Switzerland's most expensive mountain resort, spend a night in Switzerland's oldest town, take a detour from the train route and visit somewhere unique, visit another country with your INTERRAIL pass, and spend a night in a capsule hotel for under £60. And in Switzerland that's going to be a difficult challenge. But anyway, I'm going to stop blabbering on now. I will get to my hotel, I'll pick the first postcard to decide what we do and where we go tomorrow at random, just random. I'll turn them over when I get to the hotel and pick one at random, and then see if we can make the most of our 3-day INTERRAIL pass in Switzerland. So see you in the hotel or wherever I am picking the next postcard. So I think I've just been mugged in the shop. The only supermarket open at this time. I bought a small tub of hummus and some rice cakes, and it's come to £12. This is going to be an expensive couple of days. So there's the hotel. Okay, let's have a quick tour of the room. It's a strange layout, and then we will draw a postcard at random and see where we're going tomorrow morning, because I'm going to have to book a hotel and figure out which train or trains I'm going to be getting. But first, here's the room. So we've got twin room, no view, TV built into the wall so you can't steal it. And you've got a weird curtain thing, a sink outside of the bathroom. You've got a shower cubicle thing here, right next to the bed. And then in here, a separate toilet with, oh, it's that bad. Horrible toilet paper. But anyway, enough of this Ibis budget room. Let's get the postcard chosen so I can figure out what I'm doing. So here are all 5 of the postcards. Let's drop them on the bed and then pick one at random. So let's go for the one on the top. Survive on just £100 in Switzerland's most expensive mountain resort. So Switzerland is known for being really expensive, and the mountain resorts even more so. I think we have probably 3 options here. So we have Davos, we have Gstaad, and we have Zermatt. Given that I'm here to make the most of my INTERRAIL pass, which is the farthest away from Basel, it's right in the south of Switzerland near Italy, I'm going to go with Zermatt. I'm going to work out now how much it's going to cost me for a hotel, and then that will determine how much money I have left for the remainder of my time in Zermatt when I get there. I have a feeling the hotel might take up a lot of that money. But I'm going to eat my hummus, eat my rice cakes, and I will see you, future Joe, who may or may not thank me for this challenge when we find out that £100 may or may not be enough to actually survive in Zermatt for the night. I will see you then, and I apologise, future Joe, if this is a harder challenge than we thought. So yes, I'm trying to travel as far as I can in Switzerland on regional trains only to experience parts or all of the luxury routes that you would pay a fortune for, such as the Bernina Express and the Glacier Express. So today's route, if we make it to Zermatt, will take about 9 hours on 7 trains. We will end up in Zermatt, where we need to see if we can survive on £100 per night for one night. We'll be taking in the Volapern Express from Lucerne to Arth-Goldau, which is supposed to be really scenic. The Gotthard Panorama Express between Erstfeld and Göschenen, and the meter gauge line from Brig to Visp and Zermatt, which is part of the famous Glacier Express route. They're all on regional trains. At the end of the video, I'll put a comparison to how much I've saved compared to the luxury trains, and I'll talk through each of the routes when we get on the relevant trains. But first, I need to go and find my train to Lucerne, and then that will be 1 train down, 6 more to go. My train leaves here at 9:14. Swiss trains are known for being very punctual, so I don't want to miss it. So let's go and see if we can find the train to Lucerne. Before the trains, I saw a statue of a baby strangling a duck, a tram, a church with scaffolding, went to a quaint cafe for breakfast. I had a chia bowl. And then went back to the station. So we're looking for platform 15 to Lucerne. So this must be our train. We're going all the way to Lucerne, second class on the Interrail ticket. I think this is the one. The doors seem to be closing. I do like this thing here. It's like a conference table on the train. So you don't need to reserve a seat on these trains, these regional trains. There's a plug socket. This train, and I'm impressed so far. But it's really quiet. Nobody's talking, which makes filming quite difficult. So this train from Basel to Lucerne should take about 1 hour 16 minutes. So we've just left Basel, and the first train on this epic 7-train day is now underway. I literally just walked past here. My hotel was around the corner from here. I don't think there'll be much to see for now, but I'll make sure you don't miss out on any great sights that we pass. Who knows? I haven't researched this route. I only found out I was going this route last night. Fun fact, all Swiss trains synchronise their clocks at exactly the same time every morning before starting their journeys. So just coming into Lucerne now. I have an 8-minute connection to get to the other side of the station. In any other country that would worry me. In Switzerland, not so much. We're definitely going to make it. And then the next train is the Voralpen Express, so the first scenic route. There wasn't much to see on this train from Basel to Lucerne, but there will be on the next one. I'll make sure you don't miss anything. So I just have to go to the bridge up the top, I think. Single decker this time, operated by a different company. And as I said earlier, this is the first named train we'll be catching today. The Voralpen Express, because it goes through the Voralpen Alps. So there's a bistro on this one. So this train is operated by a company called Südostbahn, and it runs between Lucerne and St. Gallen, connecting central and eastern Switzerland. It runs every hour and bypasses Zurich and goes through the scenic rural areas in the central part of Switzerland. We are going 4 stops, I think, to Ahrgoldau, where we will get our next train. But before then, let's enjoy this one.
And wishes you a pleasant journey.
This is typical of European train stations, a yellow timetable. We are waiting for the 11:28 to Erstfeld. So right next to me is a train that's not moving, so it might be a good time to get my thumbnail picture. I'm sure I'll be on this model of train at some point. We have another 5 to go. So the train to Erstfeld is really busy. This must be quite a popular route. And I think I might be the last person on this train. Where's everyone gone? So in Erstfeld now, I've got about 25 minutes here. It's really picturesque. I said I didn't think the last leg we've just come on would be anything to write home about. I don't mind admitting I was wrong. I mean, just look at the backdrop I've got here, and it's even got the authentic smell of cow manure in the air. So we're definitely in rural-ish Switzerland now. I think I need to go back onto platform 4 in a bit. Need to find a toilet, and then the next train we go on is the second named train of this trip, the Gotthard Express, to somewhere else. I'll tell you when we get on the train, but for now I'm just going to enjoy the snowy mountains, kind of, and try and find a loo, and then go and figure out where the train arrives from in about 23 minutes time. Well, this really is a picturesque typical Swiss town. So picturesque. Snow-capped mountains, forested mountains, quaint houses and little restaurants and Speiserstübli, whatever that is. A Frusin restaurant, Hotel Hirschen. Erstfeld seems like the place to come if you want some typical Swiss culture. Even the sign shows a guy in lederhosen with a stein of beer, and it says Ein für alle, and then a big Swiss flag behind him. But I still haven't found a loo. So we've got a bit of time here in Erstfeld. Let's go and have a really quick explore of this place, because I'll probably never come here again. And it's doing train journeys like this that opens up these opportunities you wouldn't get otherwise. This is just typical typical Swiss chalet type houses and really narrow roads that cars shouldn't be driving down. We can't spend too long getting lost because we do need to get a train, because I don't fancy getting stuck here overnight, and we have a challenge in Zermatt we need to get to. But I think this is, it's like a typical Swiss village town place. I mean, look at that. How much more picturesque could you get? So I think there are a lot of biking and hiking trails around here. I'm seeing a lot of people on bikes and hiking. I think we will turn around and head back towards the station. I still haven't found a toilet. But anyway, this has been a nice, quick trip around a random Swiss town I've never heard of. I thought it was a backwater, apparently not. And it was all thanks to Swiss Rail, or Swiss Railways, that got me here, and the INTERRAIL Pass, which I could use on any train without having to make a reservation, no extra fee. If I had taken one of the big, the really popular name trains, I would have had to pay extra, a lot more. So yeah, get yourself an INTERRAIL pass for Switzerland, and you come and see places like this. So the next train we're catching goes as far as Locarno. We are only going one stop to Göschenen. Went to the shop and got myself some corn cakes and some mixed nuts just to keep me going. I tell you what, the prices in Erstfeld are significantly cheaper than I found in Basel last night, and I'm sure they'll be a lot cheaper than Zermatt. These came to £2, which is really cheap for Switzerland. So that's £2 of my £100 budget gone, which leaves £98 for accommodation and potentially a meal tonight. And I think I'm the only person getting on the train here, because this platform is deserted. Maybe when you come to Erstfeld you never want to leave. Maybe that's what's going on here. As the journey goes on, and now we are at the Gotthard area. We will either go over a bridge or through a tunnel, but we are spiralling up, so the tracks is curving round. That is Switzerland. I'm in Göschenen. I've got a 4-minute connection here. You're really testing my my willpower and my strength to keep going. But this is the train we're getting now. So we are only going one stop to Andermatt, and we've literally just made it before the train leaves. This is the Gotthard Express train. It's supposed to be one of the most picturesque. So again, I'll make sure you don't miss anything. So this train is going up quite a steep gradient. My ears have popped. So we're definitely going up and again. And you can see the train is sloping quite a lot. It's probably like that angle.
This train continues to Real.
So we have just arrived into Andermatt. I'm going to see if I can get to the front of the train quickly to take a photo. So I've got about a 30-minute stop here in Andermatt. It seems like another picture-perfect Swiss town, so I might need to go out and have a quick explore before I go to Brig on the 5th train, I think. But I'm in no rush, so I can wait and see this train leave. Just look at the surroundings of this station. You've got little mountain huts on snowy ridges, you've got snow-capped mountains. So I've just seen several signs coming out of the Andermatt train station saying welcome to the Swiss Alps, and it makes you remember you're actually in the middle of the Alps here. This is a ski resort, like near the top of the Alps. Picture postcard chalets and wooden restaurants, hotels. The Chedi. I think it costs about $3,000 a night to stay here. This is the Chedi Andermatt. I mean, when you look at this, can you get any more scenic? Can you get any more Swiss than this? Pure water running down from the Alps through a quaint Swiss chalet ski town with a church spire in the background. I mean, come on. I'm running out of superlatives here. Surely it can't get more picturesque than this. But we are going to the very bottom of the Matterhorn in Zermatt, so who knows? Keep watching and see if it gets any better than this. If only I had more time to explore Andermatt. Alas, the journey must go on. Rude, but the journey must go on. And we have another train to catch. We're making the most of this INTERRAIL pass, I tell you that. So I'm going to head back to the station, find the platform, and I'll see you on the train. So this is the train to Visp, and we are going to Brig Bahnhofstrasse. And we need to get on. We've got like 2 minutes before it leaves, and it is quite busy. So I'm going to try and find the carriage where I can open the windows. This one might do the job. So on this train we can open the windows. So I'm sure they'll be hanging out there at some point in the next hour and a half. of today, this epic journey from the very north of Switzerland to pretty much the very south, from Basel to Zermatt. If you've kept count, you'll see that I haven't actually done 7 trains, this will be 6. The reason for that is when we got to Brig, which was the station before this one I'm in now. Where am I? Visp. It was the one before Visp. The train that I was supposed to be catching to Visp, where I am now, would have got in 2 minutes earlier than I needed to be here. I've got about 15 minutes before we leave anyway. So I just stayed on the train. It was going to Visp anyway. I stayed on the train, and all going to plan, I'll get into Zermatt in about an hour and a half, about 5 PM. Then I'll go to my hotel and we can see if we can make £100 work for the night in Zermatt, the most expensive resort in Switzerland. So let me show you around this train. I think you can tell who the target customer is here. You've got a small second class section and then a closed off first class section in each carriage. So it should take about just over an hour from here to get to Zermatt. It's been tiring, it's been a long day, but I've experienced places I would never have gone to, all thanks to the INTERRAIL Pass for Switzerland. And we mustn't forget that we need to decide where we're going tomorrow, and because I've got 4 postcards left and 2 days before I leave on Monday morning from Zurich, I've got 2 cards to pick for tomorrow and 2 for the day after. Do that at the end of this video when we get to the hotel and we see if we can complete this challenge. Welcome to Zermatt. This place is absolutely heaving. I think 3/4 of the people here are Chinese. But on the train here, I found myself a hotel. It's a 3-star hotel, the Hotel Jägerhof. It's about a 15-minute walk from here. But it was £96. The hotel was £96. The nuts and the cone cakes I bought earlier were £2. That leaves me £2 to find something to eat tonight so that I stay within my £100 budget. I think that's going to be impossible. We can have a quick look at some restaurants, but I doubt any of them are going to serve anything for anything under £50 here. And we might have to go into a supermarket. We might even struggle with that, but there's a couple of supermarkets. I'll have a check in those before I go to my hotel. Then I'll head up to my hotel and call it a day because I am absolutely shattered. So we are in the Migros supermarket. There are reduced things going up on these shelves now, so we might be lucky. But it's typical that I can't eat most of the reduced stuff. So I might struggle. Somebody else might be fine who can eat normal food. So we've got 2 mango soya yogurts for about 65p. A lot of the things don't have prices on them, which means they're more expensive than you want to pay. The brands I've never seen before. Right, so I'm struggling. I think I'm just going to call it quits. I'll have my yogurts and my corn cakes I bought and get to the hotel. So I'll see you when we get to the hotel. Those bloody things are driving all over the place. They don't stop while you're walking in the road because there's no pavements. They just drive at you. And that's from my hotel. And even the McDonald's is upmarket here in a chalet. Nothing in Zermatt is cheap, but the views all around here are free, so I guess you could enjoy your time here for a little amount of money. You just couldn't eat and you'd have to get a really cheap hotel. That top of the mountain there you can see is the Matterhorn. I went and had a look at how much it would cost to go up on the cable car thing to the top, the Gornergracht, and they do an evening ticket, so after 3:30 p.m. you can get half price, but it would still cost £86, and that slightly blows the budget. You've now spent £96 on a hotel. Isn't that a nice church? That's Zermatt's main church, but underneath it, at the foot of the church, is a bit of a, I don't know if you'd call it a hidden gem, but something that a lot of people don't know about Zermatt, because this is the starting point for a lot of people climbing the Matterhorn. These gravestones at the foot of the church are to the people who've died trying to ascend the mountain, and most of them are not Swiss names, and most of them are not from Switzerland. Some of them date back to the early 1800s, 1958, Vernon Charles Strange, Vernon Allen Crawford, Elmar Duschek, Alfred Spratt. I'd say a lot of those were British or American names. But yeah, you never know what you might find until you walk around a new place. So I've just walked from one end of Zermatt to the other in about 10-15 minutes. It's really not that big, but there's got to be a good 30,000 people here, all of them speaking French or American English. But yeah, I think I'm just going to call it a day now. Get back to my hotel and just chill and sleep. Because we may have a very long day tomorrow, depending on what the cards come out as. My fate is in the hands of 2 pieces of card. So we are at the hotel now. They had a free transfer from the train station, but it's a nice day, so I decided to come myself. Now, where's the entrance? So yeah, the room is fine. I have a view of another building. If I stretch, you can see the top of the mountains. Yeah, it'll do. I'm only here for one night. I'm leaving fairly early tomorrow. Before I bring this video to a close, let me sum up. So we've been on 6 trains, all of them regional trains covered by an INTERRAIL pass. We've been on the same route as the Glacier Express was the last 2 trains that you saw. The Voralpen Express, and then the other one, Matterhorn train, I think it's called. We were on there for about 3 hours in total. The only difference between ours and the expensive ones that all the tourists use is we only had one window at either side, whereas the tourist trains have a window above as well. But it makes no difference if you can see out of the window, because the train's turning all the time anyway. And we visited some random town that I've never heard of that turned out to be really scenic and very Swiss. All thanks to the INTERRAIL Switzerland pass. The last thing we need to do tonight is choose the 2 postcards to decide where we're going tomorrow. We've kind of kept within the £100 budget today. The room was 96, the corn cakes and the nuts were £2, and the yoghurt came to £1.10 for some reason. So we're about 90p left out of the £100. So I'm saying that's a win. First postcard, we won. I'll also put here the cost of the expensive trains compared to the cost of a 3-day rail pass that you can use on any regional trains. You can get on and off it as much as you want. So the last thing we need to do is draw the 2 postcards for tomorrow, and then I need to plan quickly how we get out of here tomorrow morning and where we are going. Right, are you ready? So let's choose this one.